Public Library. Thanks for joining me today for Kids in the Kitchen. Before we get started, there's a few things we need to do. Make sure your hands are washed, your work surface is clean, and if you have long hair, could you pull it back? Well, today we're going to make apple pie breakfast cookies. So this is something you can have for breakfast. Some of the things we're going to use are applesauce, oats, and ground oats if you want, flour, salt, maple syrup and vanilla, and then some nuts, some raisins, some eggs. So let's get started. So you can really see what I'm doing. I'm going to bring you closer. So hold on a minute. Okay, we're going to start by putting our wet ingredients in our bowl. And that means we're going to put in a half a cup of applesauce. And I use the unsweetened, so you're not getting any extra sugar. And then we're going to put in 2 eggs right here. 1 and 2. Then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of melted butter. You could use coconut oil, you can use butter, you could use avocado oil, but I'm using butter because that's what I have in the house. Then we're going to add a half a teaspoon of vanilla. So make sure you're looking at your measuring spoon and it says half a teaspoon. There it goes. Makes a pretty sound, doesn't it? And 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. Now, if you don't have maple syrup, you can use any kind of sweetener you have in the house. You could use just regular table sugar. But I have this, so that's what I'm going to put in. 1 and 2. There's my cling again. Cling, cling, cling. All right. And that's all our wet ingredients. So we're going to mix this up. Oh, let's count to 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, halfway, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's go to 18, 16, 17, 18. Perfect. Looks real runny. All right, now we're going to put in our dry ingredients. And our dry ingredients say 1 cup of oats. That's what these are. Oatmeal. I use just the regular old-fashioned oats. And then we're going to put in a cup of flour. And I said you could use any kind of flour you want. The recipe says oat flour. If you decide to do oat flour, you just put your regular oatmeal, your mom or your dad, in a food processor and grind it up, and then it's called oat flour. So I have a cup of oat flour. I have a half a cup of oat flour and 2 tablespoons. And then I have a cup of just regular white flour because the recipe called for 1 cup and 2 tablespoons. Move this. And a teaspoon and a half of baking powder. Okay, the kind of apple I'm going to use is going to be a Gala apple. That's just because that's what I had in the house. So you're going to peel your apple. You may have some help with this. I like these peelers. For me, they work really well. But there's all different kinds of peelers out there. So we're going to peel our apple. Should we count to 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I have a little bit more. Now, if you don't want to buy an apple that you can peel, I know that you can buy pre-peeled apples too, and that would work just fine. So now we're going to cut it up. The recipe says to dice it. Dice means to make something small. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're just going to add it to our apple mixture, our oatmeal apple. Dice means to make something tiny. Not big chunks, small chunks. Sort of like this. I like my apples and my baked goods rather small. Different people might like bigger pieces. Now, because we're using a knife, you might want to have an adult help you with this part. Because you really do need a little bit of a sharp knife to cut. So that's about the right size. Some people like Granny Smith apples, and those apples are a little bit tartar. But I just happen to have a Gala in the house, so I thought that'll work just fine. All right, almost done. Dump that in. Just like this. Now remember, you're going to bake these on a parchment lined baking sheet, and that's so that they don't stick. And these are rather big cookies. So we're going to use a tablespoon, or they even say an ice cream scoop. You can use something like that to put them on the baking sheet. There, this looks perfect. See, they're just like this. Not too small, not too big. All right. All right, let's give it a little stir, and then we'll put it on our baking sheet. Oh, I would say maybe 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, now we're going to put it on our baking sheet. Just like this. These are pretty big. How many do we have so far? Help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, what we're going to do next is we're going to put a little bit of cinnamon sugar on them. That's what's in here. I used 1 part cinnamon to 4 parts sugar. So if I use this as a 1/4 of a teaspoon, so I would use 1 cinnamon and 4 sugar. 1 of cinnamon and 4 of sugar. And that's what I used for this. We're going to just sprinkle it on. I like to just kind of hit it, and then it kind of just falls off. Just going to top these. You also could put apple slices on top of it if you wanted to. I just felt like there was enough with the apple in it. So we're going to put these in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes or until they get a little brown, and I'll see you back here. Welcome back. Your apple pie breakfast cookies are baked. They're done. Now I got about 14 out of mine, so depending upon how big you make them, that's how many cookies you'll get. But these are pretty big. Now these are not real sweet, but they are certainly healthy. There you go. Have a nice breakfast. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.